So, for the first time, really, Mark Zuckerberg has laid out his entire 10-year vision for the future of computing. And it is a world built on technology that honestly feels like it's straight out of science fiction. So, in this explainer, we're going to break down the hardware, the philosophy behind it, and the huge questions this whole vision raises for all of us.
Okay, just let that sink in for a second. This isn't about some cool new gadget. The ambition here is to replace the single most central device in our lives, the phone. And this isn't some new idea, this is the result of a decade of research. We're talking about the next huge leap in how we interact with technology and, maybe more importantly, with each other.
All right, so what does this next major platform actually look like? Well, it all starts with the hardware, the stuff that's being designed to one day take over from the smartphone in your pocket. Now, the vision isn't just one single device to rule them all. Nope, it's a whole ecosystem. It starts with simple, displayless glasses that are all about you interacting with an AI through audio. Then you can move up to a pair with a little heads-up display for things like notifications and texts. And at the very top end, you've got full holographic augmented reality glasses. Of course, immersive headsets like the Quest will still be around to handle the really high-powered stuff. The technology behind this is just wild. To get these glasses to work, they basically had to shrink an entire laboratory's worth of equipment down to fit on your face. You have tiny microprojectors that shoot light into these special lenses, called waveguides, and that's what creates the holograms. You've got eye-tracking cameras to make sure the images stay perfectly stable as you look around. And maybe craziest of all, it's all controlled by a wristband that's a neural interface. It reads the nerve signals from your hand to figure out your intent. It really is science fiction becoming fact. But okay, the hardware is just the what. To really understand the why behind all this, we need to look at the core human ideas that are driving this whole vision. And the first one is the search for something called presence. Presence. Zuckerberg calls it the holy grail of social technology. This isn't just about seeing someone on a screen. It's about tricking your brain into feeling like you are physically there with them. It's that deep gut feeling that social apps have been chasing for 20 years. And this technology is supposed to be what finally delivers it. And this quote just makes that big abstract idea feel so personal, so human. Haptics is just the technology for the sense of touch. And he's right. While we can replicate what we see and hear with incredible accuracy, touch is still the final frontier. It's a powerful reminder that no matter how advanced the tech gets, some parts of human connection are just really, really hard to replicate. All right, so the second major pillar of this future is all about making artificial intelligence truly useful, truly personal, by putting it right where you need it most. You know, for an AI to be really helpful, it needs context. It needs to know what's going on. And what better way to give it that context than to let it see what you see and hear what you hear? This is why glasses are seen as the perfect device for AI. It could turn AI from a simple tool you pull out of your pocket into a genuine collaborator in your day-to-day life. Okay, so we've seen the vision, technology for presence and personalized AI. But what real-world problems is this all supposed to solve? Let's take a look at the potential impact on society. Just think about this number for a second. 12%. That's the percentage of Americans who now say they have zero close friends. 30 years ago, that number was only 3%. It's quadrupled. It seems like despite all our tools for connecting with each other, we're actually becoming more isolated. And this chart really shows the stark reality of it. Over the last 2 decades, adults are spending 30% less time socializing in person. And for young people, the decline is a shocking 70%. The argument here is that this kind of tech isn't meant to replace physical interaction, but maybe to supplement it, to help fill this growing void. But this whole thing raises a really deep philosophical question. These tools are all designed to remove friction, to make everything easier. But what if, sometimes, the struggle is the whole point? When does removing a struggle actually help us? And when does it just rob us of a chance to grow, to build that muscle of effort? The perspective here is to think of it kind of like a calculator. A calculator is an incredible tool, right? It makes complex math easy, but we still teach kids basic arithmetic. Why? Because understanding the fundamentals, how numbers work, is a critical thinking skill all by itself. So the goal then seems to be to use AI as this powerful tool for efficiency, but without letting it replace our need to learn and build those fundamental character-building skills on our own. Finally, let's get into the major debates that are going to shape not just this technology, but pretty much the entire future of AI. And probably the most critical question is this one: should AI be open or closed? An open source approach, which is what Meta is pushing for, allows anyone to build with the technology. That means more innovation, more scrutiny. A closed approach gives a company more control, which some people argue is safer. This isn't just a technical question. It's about whether we want a future with a few dominant AIs or a diverse ecosystem that's built by everyone.
And this leads to the biggest unknown of all. So far, it seems like the more data and computing power we give these AI models, the smarter they get. We haven't found the ceiling yet. So the multi-hundred-billion-dollar question is whether that trend is going to continue or if they'll eventually hit a limit, a plateau, like other systems did in the past. The answer to that question is going to determine if the next decade brings just steady progress or a revolution that changes absolutely everything.